Good morning on this Sabbath day. I want to continue into our study as we were on the last Sabbath, where we were talking about the Spirit, one in particular, the Spirit of love, how easy that word is used with no foundation, where a man can say, I love you to another, but have no meaning. I want to now show where we were originally established here on this planet as a spirit, as an entity, as an alien. And I'm coming from the second chapter of Genesis, chapters 2, verses 7. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, prior to that, man was just dust of the earth. God took a spirit from heaven and implanted it into Adam's nostrils and brought life unto him. Now, it got severed. That spirit that was there is now gone due to one of the first sins against God, the sin of disobedience. God told Adam, do not eat of this tree that sits in the midst of the Garden of Eden. Of course, Satan had to come in. And I'm going to read another passage from Genesis 3 of that very topic. Now, the serpent was more subtle than the beast of the fields, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, God said that ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruits of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Yea, ye shall not surely die, for God doeth know it, that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So now we have established one, the first start of the sin. We have now discovered that that tree that sits in the midst of the Garden of Eden that Adam was told not to eat happens to hold good and evil. And God in his perfect wisdom could not just give us good and not evil. So he blinded our eyes to the physical world and then set the tree in the midst. Didn't tell us, didn't forbid us, but he did warn us. For the day that you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. That spirit that he implanted into man's body, Adam, will now be exposed to evil. Not good. Not good. But in the lessons, we want to talk about the 6th chapter. I shall continue to read. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to desire, to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also to her husband, and her and he did eat. And their eyes of both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves an apron. And they heard the voice of the Lord coming, God walking in the garden in the cool day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees in the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden and was afraid because I was naked and hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee thou should not eat? So there we have established God's first sin man committed against God's disobedience.